Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Well, this was certainly not the video I was expecting to make today, but lo and behold, here we are, and overnight last night, Modern Warfare and Warzone ended up getting a brand new update, and this was actually a surprise title update, and a much needed one at that, as it addressed some major issues in Warzone, and also a handful of other issues as well. So today we're going over everything that changed in the 1.25 update, alongside some of the info on the leaked mid-season event. So if you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. And of course, if you're new to the channel, or if you happen to be a part of these 64% of viewers who are not already subscribed, we are always covering the latest Call of Duty news, intel, updates, and everything in between, so feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on. Also, until Tuesday, my G Fuel discount code WhosImmortal will actually get you 30% off your entire order. So if you want to grab anything from the G Fuel site, be it a new tub, shaker, or starter pack, now is definitely the best time to do so. Anyways, when it comes to the 1.25 update, this is actually a really weird update, right? Because normally when we have title updates, it's for some really exciting content drops. Like for instance, when new seasons go live, or the mid-season updates, where we're getting new maps and modes and weapons and whatnot. But yeah, that is not what today's update is about. This update is actually all about fixing some pretty major issues with the game. But at the same time, the download itself is pretty weird too. So on PS4, the update is going to be 1.2 gigs, so relatively small, right? You are going to still have to spend some time copying, but nothing too crazy there. Then on PC, if you are a free-to-play player, it's only going to be 0.88 gigs in size, and if you own the entire game on PC, then it's going to be 1.83 gigs in size. And then on Xbox, the size here is 66.3 gigs. Obviously, there's quite the difference between Xbox and the other platforms there, and Infinity Ward says that this is because there was actually a bug with Microsoft's patch delivery process, and this download requires Xbox users to basically re-download all the files they were already using. But regardless, if you are on Xbox, you're gonna have to spend a lot longer downloading this update compared to everywhere else. Now, what did this update actually fix? Well, by far the biggest and also the most important issue this update addressed was that of the weapon models corrupting on screen. Now, from my understanding, this was primarily an issue on PC. I don't believe Xbox or PS4 users really ever ran into this, but if you are playing on PC, at any given point in a Warzone game, a weapon you pick up could just completely glitch out and basically cause your screen to go absolutely crazy. The weapon itself would have like all sorts of weird spikes on it. It would be moving around, basically making it where you could not use your weapon whatsoever, whether you were just holding it in your hands or even if you were trying to ADS with it. It was pretty much rendered useless. You couldn't do really anything with it, and obviously that is a pretty game-breaking bug. And this would happen with weapons you got out of your loadout, weapons you picked up off the ground, and even weapons you looted off of enemy players. However, according to this update, that corruption issue should now be fixed and Warzone should be back to normal in that sense. And I gotta say, I am very glad about that. If you guys watch streams or even videos on Warzone consistently, I'm sure you know all about this corruption glitch by now. I would say it was probably the biggest issue we've seen in Warzone ever since the game launched, so personally I am very glad that's now been fixed. Now, outside of that, this update also fixed a handful of other things as well, including an error that would occur when you would select the play again option in Warzone, a bug where players could use a rope ascender through a closed door in downtown, an issue where the world model of the common AUG was apparently invisible in Warzone. Then in multiplayer, they also made some pretty interesting changes. They ended up taking some maps out of certain modes, as the increased map counts in the certain playlists actually caused some maps to never appear in the rotations. So in Headquarters now, they are removing Arklov Peak and also Shipment. In Kill Confirmed, they're removing Anaya Incursion. In Cyber Attack, they're also removing Anaya Incursion. In Hardpoint, they're removing Piccadilly and Anaya Incursion. We're really hating on Anaya Incursion today, apparently. And then finally, in Search and Destroy, they are also removing Rust. So now you won't see any of those maps in the rotations for those specific modes, and ideally the map diversity will be a bit better now thanks to this update. Also, like I said earlier, because this was an actual title update and not just a smaller game settings update, part of me wonders if Infinity Ward is going to sneak anything into the game with this patch that usually would require a larger title update. Like some changes to the Warzone map, for instance, that we may see in the future that have to do with the COD 2020 Easter egg hunt that is currently unfolding because of Pawn Takes Pawn. You know, we've already seen some things change, like for instance, we've got that little hut inside of the farmhouse with all the ciphers and everything there, so I kind of wonder if this update actually allowed Infinity Ward to sort of prep any future changes that we could be seeing in the coming days and weeks. Just sort of something to think about there. Then, alongside today's update, I also wanted to talk a bit about the mid-season event that we see on the roadmap, because this has been a very hot topic pretty much ever since the roadmap was released, and recently, we actually got some info that breaks down what this event might end up being. Now, of course, this event is listed in the in-season part of the roadmap, and because it's literally titled the mid-season event, we can assume it's probably going to take place around the end of August or in early September, since that's when the middle of the season actually is. Now, I think a lot of players, myself included, saw mid-season event and immediately thought, oh, this has got to be that live event that we've seen mentioned several times up until this point, the event that has to do with the Warzone map evolving, it has something to do with the bunkers, and maybe even the nuke that is currently sitting underneath the map. However, according to Geeky Pastimes, who has looked into some of the game files, that doesn't actually seem to be the case whatsoever. So apparently, according to what Geeky Pastimes has seen in the game files, this mid-season event is going to be tied to something called the Trials events, which are going to be a series of challenges that need to be completed in the Trials mode to end up getting some new medals, and basically, you're competing for spots on the global leaderboards too. Now, if I had to guess, this stuff was actually meant to go right alongside the actual Olympics, but because of everything going on in the world right now, those were of course canceled, and in turn, the Trials events were also pushed back to now what appears to be our mid-season events. So when it comes to these trials themselves, I would imagine it's going to be like various gun courses or race courses, maybe even some parkour setups as well, that'll take place, and basically, if you get a certain time on these courses, then you'll get like a bronze medal or a silver medal or even a gold medal if you do like the absolute best time. And then you also get a place on the leaderboard too, and maybe, just maybe, and also hopefully, we could end up seeing some exclusive blueprints added into the game for those top spots as well. That way there's sort of more of an incentive to it too. I mean, just being honest, when I read mid-season event, like I said, I assumed this was either going to be something that ties into the Call of Duty 2020 Easter egg and the reveal for that has to do with the bunkers and whatnot, or it would have to do with COD Champs, since that's also taking place around the end of August. But it seems, at least according to the files, that's not going to be the case, and to me this does sound a bit lackluster. But perhaps once it does come out and we get some more info on it, it'll be a bit more exciting, and of course, only time will tell for that. So, there you have it. That is effectively everything that ended up changing in the new 1.25 update, alongside what we currently know about the mid-season event. And that is going to wrap things up for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. And of course, if you're new here and you want to stay up to date with the latest Call of Duty news, intel, updates, leaks, and everything in between, feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on. That way you'll always know whenever I post a new video. As I mentioned earlier, until Tuesday, my G Fuel discount code WhosImmortal is actually going to get you 30% off your entire order. So if you want to grab anything from the G Fuel site, now is easily the best time to do so. But once again, thanks so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.